Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Market Commentary. Hope everybody had a great trading day yesterday, as we did see a little bit of price action reversal for us to stand up and take note about. For those of you new to the channel, do me a favor, click that little subscribe button down below so you get the updates as they become available. Let's dive right in. So last night we had I did a YouTube live session with a friend of mine who looks at charts with me from time to time, and we were just kind of perusing through this. It was a test. I've never done the YouTube live thing, and so thought I would throw something out there as a to see how it worked before I do our regularly scheduled session on Thursday evening. And so in there, we found a couple of levels and a couple of ideas, so feel free to go and watch that recording if it makes sense. But one of the things that we talked about was the rally that we had yesterday and how we've begun to rally up. And as of last night, we had not put in any higher swing lows or higher swing highs. Well, now on the hourly chart we have. On the 4-hour, we have not. On the 4-hour, I still don't have any higher swing highs or higher swing lows. This is just looks simply like everything else that we've had recently, a bit of a rally up after a fairly strong move down. So since we haven't gotten any signals yet for me to be a buyer on the 4-hour chart, I'm not looking at hourly levels to be a buyer. I could theoretically go down and look at 15-minute levels to be a buyer, and some of these areas are indeed valid. We had a bit of, I guess you could call it a breakout above an area as we based along sideways for quite a while, before then popping higher in the overnight sessions. Now, we've not yet come back to this area here, which could serve as a potential reversal in the S&P. In the NASDAQ, we actually have come back into this level. However, last night during the live session, I converted this area from a confirmation style, from a limit style entry to a confirmation style entry. And the reason that we had done that was because of the basing down there below the area. So, I'm still on the lookout now to potentially get short if price comes out of this. Remember, for my rules is it's got to get halfway into the level. So now, if price gets below 67.29, let's call it 67.27, then I've got a short entry. That's really what I'm looking at. Now, I don't have a tremendous amount of profit potential because I've got this area of basing here just below it. So this becomes a little bit of a weaker area. I felt good about it initially, but I don't have the same feeling at the moment because of how much we based below it, right? Yesterday, we had talked about the S&P level and a move coming down out of that S&P level, which wound up, coming down out of the S&P level on the gap fill, and then the NASDAQ level that was up above was the area here that I was looking at. Now, on a 15-minute chart, we can see that area is this zone right here, which is a little bit wider than what a lot of people are comfortable taking, right? You definitely got a wider zone in that spot. And then when I move over to the S&P, on that level, I'm not quite to the level that would be the same reversal point, right? That same reversal point in the S&P is up here, and we're not quite there yet. All right, so I've not quite reached the area in the S&P that we have in the NASDAQ for potential reversal, which is why that NASDAQ one, you could be getting in a bit early, and that's why we converted to a confirmation style entry. Next, crude oil. So in crude oil, as of last night, we were looking at it. This is a messy breakdown area. That's really what this is. When I go to a daily chart, I can see all these wicks here. For me to take a breakdown, it's got to be below the lowest wick on the daily chart, and I can't do it until I break below that. Remember that wicks matter, and you can't get short until you break below the lowest wick on that daily chart. Now, in my mind, we're in a sideways price action that is limiting what I can do in this trade. I don't really have an opportunity here in this sideways price action. Next would be gold. So gold, I had put a little breakout long above 1256.6, in this 1256.8 area. But we have we came close to it and then fell off. I'd still want to see a little bit of basing in front of it. The more basing I get in front of a level, the better that level becomes. The more attractive it is for me as a trader. Now we got a little reversal off of this area here. I'd love to say that I had that area in play for a potential long, but I didn't. I'm waiting for this breakout above here, provided I get the base in front of it. In the bonds, and then in our currency market. So in the bonds, we have gotten a bit of a pullback to an area that is a potential reversal trade on a confirmation style entry. However, we came down below that entry, and this could have very well invalidated the level. It depends on your risk tolerance on whether or not that level would be invalidated in your particular style. So keep an eye on that one. I'm going to remove those lines for now. That would have invalidated the level for me on that setup. In the Aussie, we've got wide areas around us. Nothing to add to the Aussie. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I don't want to force a trade because I feel like I need to have something. In the euro, we had a level set up last night. Price just, off of this area right here, price just blew right through that level. That one did not work out at all. The short off of this area here is still working, but we had an additional, kind of a profit target here and then a potential long to get back up into here, and it just did not work at all. It blew right through it on the Brexit news yesterday. Canadian dollar, I had talked about how we popped into this area down here on the Canadian and then a huge rally away. But my fear yesterday on the Canadian dollar was that we've gotten too many of these long price shock candlesticks, and so I haven't added anything new to the list. Now we've come down to this area here, which I wrapped some lines around it on the weekly chart. This is off of a weekly chart where I wrapped lines around it. So we may get a little bit of a bounce out of here. It's not a level I'm willing to take. It's much wider than what I want to trade if I'm trading for a 1 hour time period. But there is a little bit that tells me there's a little bit of demand down here that I need to pay attention to. Now, there is this area right here, this little wick over wick level that becomes a potential for a reversal. So keep an eye on this area right here as a potential for a reversal. You actually have two wick over wick areas right there, followed by this area way up here at the top. So that becomes a potential for a reversal in there. Next, Great British Pound, Japanese Yen. So the pound did bounce into our daily level and then popped out of that zone, and it fell down to that bigger picture level on that Brexit news, and it gave us a touch and go out of that level. Now this is found off of the daily chart way the heck back here, and so I think that we've gotten a little bit of a move out of it, but I feel like that's not going to hold overly well. And so we put another level way up here as our best reversal point. We had this one here, but this is really just a retest of this area here to the left. Now we're getting some selling pressure by these upper wicks. Remember, upper wicks into an area of supply indicate that there's some sort of a selling pressure. However, this is kind of in the middle of this strong drop, and so I'm going to leave this be. Whereas here, I feel like there could have been some buy orders or sell orders that were added to the queue because it's right near the old support area. Oftentimes that concept of old support acting as new resistance will help orders get added into the queue overall. So those are the levels that I have set up for today. I'm really going to be very cautious. The one that I'm speaking of right now specifically is this NASDAQ level, which converted to a confirmation style entry, and it looks like it's about to invalidate. So just keep that area in mind. If you've got any questions, send me an email, support@tradersarmy.com, and I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks so much and have a great day.